Let's talk about this. Since everything's I don't really like the Ukraine stuff.
Right.
So this is okay. Let's just start off here because this is the hot topic. Okay, and we're going to drop the show tonight after we record this. This has gotten 1,096 quote tweets, a lot of retweets, a lot of comments. Okay, but here's Kane, Glenn Jacobs with a tweet on what's happening. Right.
He's a mayor, right?
Yeah, he's a mayor.
Republican
mayor,
or libertarian?
Knoxville, Tennessee, but he's a right winger. Okay,
right.
So that's not a lefty, right?
He says he identifies as libertarian.
Libertarian, yeah, but more conservative libertarian. He's kind of like right. If you're on the left and are shocked by Putin's aggression, wake up, sunshine. Historically, in the real world, might makes right. Weakness, which is really what the left is all about, is not a virtue. It's a fatal character flaw. And no, the U.S. should still not get involved. Then he types, I highly doubt Putin cares a whit about toxic masculinity, the cancel culture mutawa, or any of the other things the radical left stands for. And of course, with all the snowflakes that we have in wrestling today, this thing got like everybody and their mother was commenting on this, all the lefties, right? Let me ask you a question. What's your take on what he just said? Let me read it again, too, just categorically, because there's a lot to – it's 4 sentences, but each sentence is very
there's
specific.
A lot to unpack.
Yeah, if you are on the left and are shocked by Putin's aggression, wake up, sunshine. Okay, so now that sentence, so he's talking specifically to people that can't believe that Russia's doing this. Okay, right. Historically in the real world, might makes right. Can we agree with that on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's nothing controversial yet, right?
No.
Okay, weakness, which is really what the left is all about, is not a virtue. Okay, and I think that's where the argument starts because I don't think the left thinks that they're like about weakness, but there's definitely like conservative values matching with liberal values. I mean, who are you going to just if you have a liberal and a conservative and you have no idea what they look like, okay? And I'm just saying here's a random liberal and a random conservative. In your mind, which one do you think is probably going to be physically tougher? Just run up the back. You don't know anything about them.
Right,
just one's left and one's a right. Probably Republican, right? Because these guys are hunters. They like guns, like fight. And left wingers are like liberal. They like free. Like we grew up with the flower children. Like the tree huggers and stuff. Okay, that there is a stereotype that conservatives that people look at your classic, typical liberal, the way we stereotype them. Right, and they're definitely not. The weakness is kind of like a thing about it. They're not fighters. They're not like these people fight on social media more than they would fight in real life. You know what I'm saying? Well, what do you think about that?
Yeah, there's something to that. Yes. Okay,
so then he says it's a fatal character flaw. Do you think weakness is a fatal character flaw?
Yes.
So what's so controversial about this tweet?
Because probably he's a Republican or a libertarian saying that, and left-handed people are getting, as usual, insulted. And if they would have said something, the right would be the same. That always happens. Each side gets insulted. Each side plays a victim. Each side the other side, and it's all.
Disco, read the follow-up tweet too.
Yeah. Okay. And then the follow-up tweet was I highly doubt Putin cares a whit about toxic masculinity, the cancel culture mutawa, or any of the other things the radical left stands for.
I think that's where a lot of it came from. That's a lot of responses to that one, too.
Right.
Including Adam Page.
Yeah, Adam Page, and of course all the dirt sheet, snowflakes are commenting and everything and all that. But the
what were they saying?
Adam Page tweeted links to like UNICEF for the Ukraine, and then he posted a video of the 10 most vicious chair shots Kane has been hit with. I guess throwing shade like,
they're trying to say like that's one of the things people talk, and even Bixen fans talk about and bro, we just unpacked this tweet. This is
let
not
me just say this:
of a mentally handicapped person or anybody that's suffering from.
You can't. There's one thing about Russia. You can't disqualify the fact that there is rampant toxic masculinity. When your president is riding around in a horse with no shirt, right? Playing hockey, and
Remember the game he played in the game. He scored like 11 goals or something like that.
Right.
Like you actually it's total propaganda, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and he's marking out for Steven. What's the guy? The guy with the ponytail?
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal, and he's going over to Khabib's fights and inviting him over to and he likes all that. And homosexuality is penalized in the Soviet Union, and you can see there's something. The Soviets are they're more hardened.
Alpha males.
Yeah, they're more stoic. I'll give you an example. Right now, when you're watching the Ukraine thing, all you're seeing is men are taking their families to the border and they're going back to Ukraine to defend their country. The Klitschko's, one guy is a mayor, said, "I'm staying here to fight." Yeah. Like they're fighters. Of course. You know what I'm saying? There is a masculine
world
toxic
champion. The two biggest, two of the best fighters on the planet Earth are defending Ukraine. In hand-to-hand combat. Seriously, right?
Yeah. So there's something about the male society as a whole, and he's a representation of it. You know what I'm saying? There is a male toxicity that is very rampant in Russia. You can see it.
Right. And the thing is, and this is the problem, it's you have to point this out because people like this exist. And if people like this exist and they're going to attack people, it's dude, we gotta you gotta tell people, hey, it's time to man up. It's for being challenged to fight, the first thing you gotta do is find the fighters. And who are the fighters usually? The fighters are the people on the right. Because it's this whole the toxic masculinity. This is the thing that I've always
bro.
thought.
The president Zelensky actually said in the speech, in a State of the Union speech, everybody get your guns and get ready to fight.
Right.
I mean, that was that. And that's what they're doing.
And did you know that you probably do know this, but the U.S. offered to get him out of there, and he said, "I don't need a ride. I need ammo." So
right,
there you go.
Yeah. But the thing is that this is and I just read this tweet 20 minutes ago, but it's triggering thoughts right now that I'm thinking of here. But bro, there is a thing think about this, the Second Amendment conversation, right? This is what the Second Amendment, when the forefathers, because they literally had to fight, to win this land and have the Constitution written and everything. So they said, hey, we're going to make sure that people are armed in case something like this can happen. People think that stuff like this can't happen here. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that's not true. And when you read things for example, this is a sign of weakness. Okay, this is because one of the things about the left is they want to. That they're against the Second Amendment. They don't think a normal person that lives in, at home should have any right to own a gun. That there's no need for a gun, right? And it's okay, now this narrative is getting challenged completely. It's okay, just taking guns away from a population that could face an attack from another country, is that strengthening the country or weakening the country? It would obviously weaken the country. So the whole concept of what you're trying to say, if you don't want to promote weakness, the Second Amendment argument is front and center of this. If honestly, people need to have the right to be armed, in case your life is coming in danger. It's we'll worry about, you give a guy a gun, the guy goes out and kills somebody. It's okay, but we got 330 million people living here. If there's a mass shooter, shoots 40 to 20 people when
I just think what's more disturbing, Glenn, is that here was Putin on the border of Ukraine for months, and the United States kept saying, "Hey, he's going to attack," and he kept saying, "No, I'm not." And I kept thinking, then why are you on the border?
I didn't think he was either. Okay.
Yeah. Well, then why are you on the border, and why are you increasing your troops? And then the United States was even I think they're going to do it on Wednesday, and maybe they were going to do it on that.
Well, I think
Wednesday.
the Olympics were still going on, wasn't it? That may have been one of the things, because he noticed after the Olympics was over. This started during the Olympics.
But the United States was very adamant it was going to happen.
Right.
And they were still trying to play around it may not, and you're trying to stir up dissension.
Right. And I was in on that too until I read Putin's speech.
Yeah.
Until I read the speech, and I was like, this guy's but this is the bit, the word, this is the
but here's the thing. The thing is just the fact that, to them, we're not going to do anything. We're powerless. We didn't do anything when they took over Crimea, and these sanctions, even though even in Iran, they brought Iran back to the bargaining table and it hurt them, but it just feels like they're being emboldened by being helped by China, and they don't give a like they know China's got their back and they just don't give a
right. And they sense weakness in our country.